it's, you know, it's really about temperance, tempering the ego to be in alignment with the spirit, with the truth of your spirit. And that way it's something, you know, you're working together, aspects of you are working together versus making aspects of you the enemy. Okay. And this is part of that movement from that old paradigm matrix, nesting dollar matrix, and going into the new. It's a deeper sense of peace. It's a deeper sense of harmony with self, becoming the water bearer, the sovereign being that is in charge of pouring, of directing life force energy, life flow in different directions. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. All right. Hey, Cosmic Connection. Good to see you, Jackie. We have another Jackie here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So what does this entail? Going from slaying the ego into working with the ego. And where my being goes is into compassion, patience, forgiveness. Okay. That ball, that black ball of all those different nesting dolls of the old paradigm controlled our perceptions and controlled our choices through shame, guilt, trauma, okay? Trauma-based mind control, stuff like this. So that is a science that is extraterrestrial, but it's also, of course, human too, because we have our own CIA doing this kind of stuff. That's a science because they understand, there's a very clear understanding that you can turn the ego to work against the self. And we are unraveling that. We're now, with patience, temperance, compassion, forgiveness, we're now unraveling that opposition inside of ourselves so we can all be in the same direction like this. This is why so many of us feel conflicted inside and can't make decisions, because one part of us is in protection mode, you know, keep things in a certain way mode, and the other part of us really wants liberated from all that. And those two sides don't get along. So one of the techniques that I like to use working like this is going into a deep meditative state and start calling on these other pieces of me. So say I have a decision to make and I can't make the decision, okay, because I want this and I want that. And to make a decision, it's like, oh, now I'm going to lose it on that. Make this decision, now I'm going to lose it on that, right? So going into using breathing exercises or whatever to get focused and start settling into the body and start talking to the self. How do I feel? And without making anything wrong, it's all about observing, conjuring up the connection, and then observing and watching. And a lot of times, these conflicting pieces, they seem like they conflict, but they actually want the same thing. It's just going about how to get that same thing is what's in conflict. And this is where you bring compassion, where you bring presence and forgiveness if necessary. And the idea is to bring those two parts that are in conflict, to bring them together in an agreement that they are working together and no longer conflicting each other. This one's right, that one's right. This one, you know, you're wrong, I'm right. It's resolving that polarity dance between us inside. And this is reflected very clearly on the outside too. If you are wanting something in your life and then you have this whole list of reasons of why you can't have any of that, that whole list of reasons that you have is held in place by something inside of you. So you got to talk to that part of you that really believes it has no power, or really believes that it can't do this or can't do that. And you're not trying to, like I said, you're not trying to convince that part of you anything. It's giving that part of you a voice. It's giving that part of you witness. It's holding space for honoring that that part of you exists, and it exists for a reason. Okay. That's the other thing that really gets in the way, is that we want to make parts of ourselves wrong and like force it to come on board. It's like, no, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. You can't force a plant to grow. All you can do is love and nurture that plant. And if it's going to grow, it'll grow. So we are learning how to step out of that power dynamic of do what I say, this is how it is. That's that old paradigm, and going into the new paradigm of we are all in this together. How do we come together to unify in a direction that is beneficial to all?